Well, we're heading across our broadcast regions to New South Wales, and Phil Bouffler, he is excited because there's a couple of spanners being thrown into the works of last weekend's round 14s and some exciting matches this weekend. G'day, Phil. How are you?
Good, thank you, Wayne. How are you going? So it's good over here. Nice and sunny day today. So forecast a little bit of rain later in the day, so that'll be a bit handy. Good with your ear out yesterday.
Yeah, dear, I tell you what, we were at Speed, and it was an amazing situation as the wind started to come up in the afternoon. Then through the night, the balminess of the night, we travelled back through South Australia, and then this morning woke up to hearing rain on the roof, and I thought I've had 3 seasons in one day. I feel like I've been to Melbourne.
That's it. It's a little bit like that.
It is. It might feel like that for the Osborne folk because they've had a season in one day where they went down to Holbrook. Last week, it might have been a reminder of last season. 13-12-90 to the Brookers. Osborne, 11-8-74, the first loss of the season for the Tigers.
Well, Wade, as my grandmother used to say, well, I never. It was just unbelievable. So, Holbrook at Holbrook, strong, hard to go to Holbrook. And, Osborne, not sure what happened there. I talked to their president the other day, no excuses. They had a couple out, Osborne, but they just said Holbrook were hard at the ball and wanted it more. So great win by Holbrook. That really sets up their finals campaign. So Osborne really need to regroup this weekend.
Yeah, Nick Locke really got going, and I think when you get Jolliffe and also Carmen playing some good footy, McKinlay boots 5 and they got somewhere to kick it to. Holbrook had more answers up forward, and Connor Galvin 3, Ryan Collins and Matt McGrory with a couple each for the Osborne side. They were found wanting a little bit in their forward lineup. And Billabong Crows, nothing about being found wanting here. Finally, the Crows have shown us what they can do, and at Oakland's 10-5-65 beat Gindera 9-7-61. Oh, I reckon that is, apart from the game where the Billabong Crows had that draw up at Holbrook there, that is their best game of the season.
Good win by the Crows. Really 6 points against Osborne for the whole game. So I was talking to a Crows fellow the other day, and I don't think they kicked a goal in either 14, 17 seconds or first. So to come out and beat Gindera, which is, they've been up and down a bit, Gindera, but that was a very good win, probably one of the better wins by the Crows this year. That'll give a bit of hope for next year.
And Dylan Flanagan, I called for him last week to kick goals. Well, he answered my call. He booted 6. Very good effort. Timmy Austin and Con Hargraves with a couple. 5 to Big Castles. He castled a few, but 5 out of 9, and it just wasn't enough in the end for Gindera, who've had a disappointing season. The CDHBU are not disappointed. 14-4-88 in a ripping game against Lockhart, 10-8-68. A terrific performance here, really dominated by CDHBU early, and Lockhart put some respectability later into the game.
For all reports, they played pretty well, Lockhart, but that's a good win by CDHBU. Unfortunately for Lockhart, given that the Giants lost, they would have only been 4 points out of the 6 if they had won that game. But if there's such a thing as an honourable defeat, that was probably it.
Jake Williams booted couple with Zach Williams, Jake Phillips, I should say, Zach Williams, Abraham Wooden, all booted 2. And they were good for their Lockhart side, along with Tom Keogh and Ryan Shaw. And Ryan Beveridge, Brendan Morris played well, and Beveridge booted 5. Corey Smith nailed him with 3. He's having a good season, and he is kicking them this year. He's kicked 34 goals to be one of the leading goal kickers. A great effort from him on the side of the CDHBU power. Over to Howlong, 10-8-68 to Brock Burham, 9-9-63. Another thriller.
Close game, Wayne. Good game. And, Howlong jumped away to a little bit of a head start, but led all day. It could have gone either way. So, this is almost like a preliminary final. This could be, this would be one of the major finals, these two teams playing possibly. So, 5 points in it. So, Howlong needed to win that just to cement their spot. And Brock Burham, they got a busy game. They got a busy week this week against Lockhart. So, that was a good win by Howlong.
I believe that you had a bit of a look over there at Culcairn, 11-9-75. A big upset around Mulbundry, Waller, 9-12-66. And you can't pick it, can you? But at that Culcairn showground, you got to look out for the Lions.
Culcairn sweat over there still, but the ground was good. The Cockatoos have been busy, but it was a good win by Culcairn. They had 3 or 4 old premiership people there, like a reunion, and they really turned it on. Never looked like losing, led all day, and disappointing for the Giants. But they never looked like winning it, to be honest.
Yeah, and interesting too because they had their key forward back in Nathan Wardius, and I think that he probably coming back into the side after they had those good weeks, a good run of weeks. Maybe it was a performance to be reckoned with by Culcairn, a very good effort. Although I've gone through the list, his name is at the bottom with no goals, so I just wonder whether he may not have eventually played there for them on the day. Good effort from Murray Magpies to kick 4 goals, 7. They've had a terrible season, but Henty booted 18-20. Pretty regulation there, Phil, for another big win for the Swampies.
Good win, about 100 points. So Magpies. It was interesting. I was talking to someone the other day, the Culcairn game, and they said they were surprised. Like that often the Magpies play quite well. So, and as I've said before, often their score does sort of reveal their endeavour. So, they're battling every week. So let's hope they regroup, and they'll see they're after a new coach for next year. So let's hope that they get organised.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting organised at the Burrumbuttock Recreation Reserve. Osborne folk will come down there and they will take on the Saints. A lot of history here in recent years with premiership success for Osborne over Brock Burrum. But Brock Burrum have got some fight in them, and the Tigers have got some worries.
It's an interesting thing. They just couldn't kick goals, Osborne. That's their problem. One of their strong points all year. They've been strong at kicking goals, and I don't think Armstrong played, and with George Alexander injured, so there's their two main avenues to goal. So it's not about defending. They've got one of the best defences in the league, but they need to kick goals. So Brock Burrum playing very well. I mean, this is a danger game for Osborne, to be truthful. So, who am I going for? I'm going to go down to this game. It'll be a good game, this. So I just reckon Brock Burrum at home, they might have their tails up here a bit.
Oh, he's gone for the Osborne boys to lose 2 in a row. I'm not going to tip that way, that's for sure. But then again, the Brock Burrum boys have shown up my tipping from early in the season pretty well. Murray Magpies and Culcairn. I think Culcairn get a big score this weekend based on last week's form, even though it's down at Urana Road Oval. I think Culcairn by plenty.
They'll be too strong, Wayne. They played well last week, Culcairn. Magpies will be trying, but the Culcairn will be far too strong.
Okay, Billabong Crows drew with Holbrook last time up at Holbrook. They showed something early in the season. Last week we saw something more at Urana, and I think they might have Ladies' Day and so forth going on down there. So at Holbrook coming over there to Billabong Crows territory, gee, the Crow boys might fancy themselves.
They might, but they'd be. I think they might be on their own. They're fancying themselves. I can't see Holbrook losing. They had a fantastic win last week. They'll be up and about. And I just think it wouldn't matter where they played. Holbrook would be too strong in this game.
Yeah, just like those couple of kookaburras that fancy themselves up there on that aquatic lake at Urana. They do, but they won't. That'll be, I reckon, what'll be the case. Henty take on CDHBU, and this one at the Henty Showground. Beautiful venue. And I think that this CDHBU side are good enough to beat Henty over there.
They could be, but you just don't know, Wayne. It's a bit like the AFL. There's an upset every week, and you've just got to try and second-guess what it's going to be. I've seen Henty a couple of times, and they're not playing too bad. But that was a big win. So once again, I've said all year, you've got to go on form like a good horse race, Wayne. So that's why my tab count's so low, actually. So maybe I shouldn't go on form. So I think you have to pick the power.
Oh, I thought you would have said you got to go on the form of a pigeon race. You fancy a grower over there?
I possibly won't, but I'm not sure that we will run odds on pigeon races at this stage.
Good stuff. Jindera and Howlong over at Jindera. Howlong should win here.
Howlong will be too strong. They had a good win last week. Jindera been up and down really at home. This could be an upset, but once again on form, Howlong wins. Lockhart
play Ramwell Bunbury-Waller. Now, you made a good point earlier. Had Lockhart won last week, Ramwell Bunbury-Waller have opened up the door a little bit. Can Lockhart beat the Giants over at their home deck in front of that massive, big painted water tower?
Oh, Wayne, that's a $100 question. Look, they've been playing well, Lockhart. I mean, I was talking to someone in Lockhart the other day, and they said to me, if someone had said at the start of the year we'd win 6 games, we'd have said, well, not sure about that. But, they played really well. So, I mean, if Osborne beats the Brock Burrum and Lockhart wins this game, Lockhart's 4 points out of the 6. So you just don't know how this is going to go. The Giants have been up and down all year. Lockhart have just been... I know they've... Look, I think the Giants might win this because I think they've just got to win. I think Lockhart might have a couple of blokes out. The big ruckman's gone overseas, I think, so that'll be a downer for them. So just basically because of that reason, I think the Giants might get up.
Yeah, and the Giants haven't got Wardius selected in this week's side, unlike last week, where I think he might have been selected and may not have played. But it is a very interesting round of matches, that is for sure, and we have a very, very good completion to it there as we have a look at Hume football. Phil Bouffler, I'll let you get back to the fancying of those wonderful pigeons who make a lot of mess, but a lot less noise than those two kookaburras out there at the Aquatic Reserve at Urana.
That's a go, Wayne. Now, I'll tell you this just quickly. Someone asked me the other day if I still race pigeons, and I said, no, I don't anymore. I beat one the other day, so don't worry about it.
Oh, yes. You've won a Dove Award for that one, that's for sure. Good to talk to you, Phil.
Right, thanks, Wayne. I'll talk to you next week.